What is this? What?
There is nothing. Again.
What? Nothing? What? What is happening?
Nothing, sad brother. No treachery, just blackout.
I'm just gonna lie there. Passed out, I guess.
Well, almost nothing. There is the ground below you, that's still there. And the small light that's on, fluttering somewhere in the basal ganglia.
Wow. Well, who's that then?
That's me. Blue eyes, that's me.
Okay, and who was that?
Who is what?
He speaks of the sickening longing, the unwell emotion. Even in the darkness, he's grasping for it, still trying to hold on to the great sorrow slipping in the water. Slimy.
Yeah. That's the stuff. That's what I'm talking
Here
about.
in the paleomammalian cortex, we call it the shadow. Because it's always there.
White Morning. Was that the X something that you mentioned earlier?
Bloated corpse of the past resurfacing.
Yeah. That. Yeah. Was that what it was?
Don't prod at it. It will start moving again.
So so this ancient reptilian brain and our limbic system and all this is trying to suppress these memories, and it appears that letters triggered something in us. We passed out, and now these guys are telling us to just suppress it. And where's that Voyager Road that they mentioned?
There is no Voyager Road. There are no roads, no houses, no lights in the windows. It's all on pause.
Well, okay, but then what about that bow collector too?
Yeah, man. What was that about?
Yeah. All right, we're just gonna lie here, I guess.
You think they would let you? Until you disintegrate into biomolecules? No. Someone is breathing on your face now, inspecting your pupils, stupid idiot.
What is that? It's pretty cold.
Yes, they're pouring something on you.
They're pouring water on
Something
our face,
in you.
probably.
And
It's delicious. Capri Kanema. Glowing lights on a dashboard emerge out of nothingness. What the Kim, where am I? In the upholstered cabin of Lieutenant Kutsuragi's motor carriage, seated in the driver's basket. The air is thick with leatherworks and heavy fuel oil. Cold water runs down your chin. Drink water. The lieutenant is extending a small canister to your mouth. The water is cold, silvery, the stuff of life itself as it pours down your parched throat. The pounding in your head recedes and the darkness parts. Drink. He tilts the canister. You haven't drunk water in 2 days. Did you know the human body is not made to survive on alcohol alone? You need a secondary form of hydration. With greedy gulps, you down half a liter of cold water. Some of it spills onto the driver's seat. The lieutenant pays no heed to it. What happened? I could probably ask you the same, to be honest. You were reading your paperwork and then you passed out. I carried you to my Kanema or to take you to the hospital, but then you came to. How long was I out? 10 minutes, maybe? Huh. I don't know. I think I came in contact with the burnt out ruins of the past, Lieutenant. Ledger of failure and hatred. That does sometimes happen. He hands you the remains of your ledger. He replies with such understanding as if it's burnt out ruins of the past were an occupational hazard. Athlete's foot for cops. You dropped this. Are you okay to proceed? You know, hell yeah, brother. Let's solve this case. Good. The Ledger of a Failure and Hatred is a special item that can be used both as an interactable and a tool equipped in your hand for skill bonuses. Find it under the tools section of your inventory. What? Okay. Hold on. So we get Inland Empire, but we lose authority. -2 here. We're losing authority from hatred. So what are we at? 0. We're at 0 authority right now. We can change that, obviously. But I guess it depends on who we're going to talk to. There are other benefits like Inland Empire and empathy. So our empathy is actually really strong. Yeah, cool. Very cool. Okay. We also got a bunch of other thoughts here. So this is where I'd want to start unlocking some of this. Now, this is unlocking all endurance white checks. So anything that was checked based on this, we can retry. But I don't see any other stuff that we would need. Oh, I have to spend a skill point to forget things even. Okay, okay. So you can't just like ditch these things. Okay, cool. Good to know. Good to know. Well, we have this thing about the bow collector that was mentioned in the letter, temporarily hurting our authority and hand-eye coordination. And then white morning. Little guys get further and further away. I'm interested. This one's almost done. We're getting temporary research bonuses, but I'm thinking this is going to change to something after. This one's hurting authority temporarily. But I wonder if skill points aren't better off spent in this like thought cabinet as a whole. Now, I misunderstood this before because I thought we could just forget it, but we actually have to pay to forget that. So that's kind of cool as well. Anyways, let's check this thing. This is the same ledger you found in the trash, only worse somehow. Makes you think about the letter, about the woman's handwriting, about not wanting to get out of bed in the morning. Mouse over to see effects. Yeah. So I think that was a letter to us then. And if we think about the ancient reptilian brain in the limbic system at the very beginning, they were talking about like ex-loves and ex-wives and whatever. And I think she called us, what, Harry? So that's probably our real name. It's a ledger you found in the trash, cabbage of papers hanging from the board. It's barely held together by a clip. Same description as before. Oh, and it's a cool piece of toilet paper stuck to the back. So, if we slide the hidden drawer open now, without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. Compartment's open and we see these ticket stubs and handmade postcards again. Kill yourself. Yeah, we're going to pass on that. It's slightly, ever so slightly difficult to breathe once you've done so. The drawer is locked. Blue ink drips from the white pages in your hand. Let's check the papers. Let's start with the toilet paper. It's just toilet paper sticking to the back of the plastic clipboard. You can take it off. Leave it there. Maybe it's cool. Let's take it off. Clean this thing up a little bit. Still wet. The toilet paper peels off the plastic easily. All you have to do is shake it off your finger and voila, the ledger now looks marginally better. Okay, and the clip. Aluminum block runs the entire width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. Its crocodile teeth are the only thing keeping the papers in. A regular pencil, the tip worn down to nothing, has been attached. Run your finger across the aluminum. The surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular, sparkling with iridescence. You don't know how you didn't notice it before. Hey, Lieutenant, what is this? What? He is lost in his own notes. It takes a moment for him to see it. Oh, that thing? It's a halogen watermark. We use it for adding information to RCM property. We have those halogen watermarks on our jacket as well. Interesting. What kind of information? Well, it depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting stamp, mine has my station number and address. The information varies by date of issue. Maybe yours will have how many cases you've solved. That would be cool. How many years you've been on the force, he's thinking. It'll have that. Well, how can I read it then, Kim? Any capable light with the right wavelength will do. Like, for example, read the watermarks. All RCM vehicles have headlights designed to reveal halogen watermarks. Mine too. This means you can read the watermarks if you just turn the lights on. Thank you, interfacing. All right, cool. That's all. Thanks. Okay, he returns to his neatly kept notes. Before we investigate these papers, let's do this. We're going to read our watermarks. Go to the Kanema and turn on the lights. So, Kim, how do I turn on the headlights in this bad boy? He turns the preheater on, waits, takes out his keys, and says, all right, ready, huh? I turn you, press start. It's next to the preheater. He's downplaying his excitement. The lieutenant is more than happy to show off his presence carriage. The dashboard lights up with orange glow. Rounds per minute gauges jump, and the engine of Capri Kanema comes to life with a whiny growl. Press the button labeled headlights. The lights unfold with a little click, casting electrical light onto the ground before the vehicle. There you go. I'll turn them off from the remote once you're done. We just need to stand in front of them now. Okay. Cool. As you hold your ledger's clip under the headlamp, an iridescent hologram appears. A street grid in the veins of a great river. A familiar sensation watches over you. There she is, Revachol West. There's a note of pride in the lieutenant's voice. Oh, maybe this will be the map for, maybe this will be the map for that section that we don't have access to. Around the borders of the watermark are dozens, no, hundreds of micro perforations. Look at the shimmering street grid. The rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo of the RCM, and yet the major arteries of Revachol are all recognizable. They shimmer in the Kanema's headlights. And where are we on this? Let me see. He takes the ledger for a moment and inspects it. Right here, he says, his finger pointing near the top of the map on a segment of coast jutting out into the great ocean. Kind of seems like a bit of a shithole. It has its problems. Let's look at the perforations. There are many of them. They are divided into 3 separate rows. Let's tally them up. First row has 18 dots. Not bad. Not bad for what? You don't even know what it means. Good point. What about the next one? The next is the longest. It runs all the way around the border and then some. Count them individually. Oh, holy smokes. You count 216 perforations. Considering that nice large number, a wave of pride washes over you, though you can't say why precisely. And what about the last row? Last row has 3 perforations. So we went from 18 to 216 to 3. That's it. Hey, Kim, what do all these holes mean? Those are perforations. They represent your record as an officer of the RCM. They're your statistics, as it were. I should have guessed you keep a record. Officers often do that. Let's take a look. Alpha male officers who are proud of their numbers do it. Now, the first row represents your years of service. 18 years? Okay, not bad at all. What did you do before you volunteered? Wait, 18 years I've done this? That's what it says. I might have guessed even longer based on your age. What did you do all those blissful years of your youth? Probably just got drunk like some kind of megastar. Yes, that does seem quite likely. Your youth coincided with some heady days for Revachol. But let's move on, shall we? This next row, the one that wraps all the way around, is your number of closed cases. Damn! Closed is good. It means finished. You've got, let's see. Wow. More than 200. Yeah, I got 216 to be exact. Lieutenant nods with evident respect. Oh, it's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force for nearly 2 decades. Usually clearing more than 10 cases a year puts you in the 90th percentile of all RCM officers. So hold on a second. Are you saying that I used to be some kind of like super cop? Call it what you want. You were a valuable member of your precinct. Now let's look at that last row. Ah, right. Those are your confirmed kills. You've got precisely 3 perforations there. I was kind of expecting a higher number there, honestly. For an RCM officer, especially Precinct 41, which is in the Jamrock quarter, it's rather tame. And I mean that in a good way. There are certain officers who treat their kills like some kind of ghoulish game. If they do happen to solve a case, it's usually by accident. It's obvious Lieutenant doesn't think very highly of these officers. And we had seen this when we were talking to the other cops on the thing. We were kind of having like a flashback of these of confirmed kills and cases and all that. So it's cool that it all lines up. Obviously, the lieutenant doesn't think very highly of these officers. But it seems as though you are, or at least were, one of the good ones. So we have that to be thankful for. Damn. Kim, I gotta ask you, have you ever killed anyone? Yes, he says, declining to elaborate. It's not a problem for him to state it, however. How do you handle all this? This is a bit heavy. Everyone has their own method of coping, some more effective or self-destructive than others. Gives you a meaningful look. Personally, I find it helps to keep up a few hobbies. Oh, maybe I should find one of those. Why not gardening? You've already got the gloves. He points to your yellow gardening gloves. That's true. Or I could just like collect trash. I'm pretty good at that, it seems. It's meant in earnest. Please don't mistake it for a jab. Hey, Kim, thanks for this, man. I appreciate that. Lieutenant nods. Okay, well, let's go then. Great, I'll go turn off the lights. And he presses a remote on the key. You can now see your stats in the journal page. Right at the... right of the task description. Okay. Oh, look at this. Superstar cop. Apocalypse cop. Sorry cop. Boring cop. Communist, fascist, ultra-liberal, moralist, good cop, bad cop. People killed 3. Cases solved. Years in service 18. Name unknown. Rank unknown. Oh, sick. So, like, eventually we're going to try and figure that out, I guess. I don't know what these are all referring to or how this is happening yet, but we'll try and sort that as we go. We still need to try and name this, I guess. Okay, let's browse the white papers. Not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol, covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes into watercolor patterns, reaching its tendrils across entire pages. The paper itself is checkered with faint red lines forming short paragraphs. Once in a while, there's a red stamp that claims case files. Or that exclaims, case files, commit to paper. The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than a couple sodden, crumpled up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands. They appear to be sufficiently organized and extremely dense, if mostly illegible. What's in there? What are they about? Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51st, this year. The exact number, so I guess this is like a yearly thing we keep. The exact number of pages is hard to estimate due to missing pages and an odd naming convention. But there are at least 20, maybe 30 cases undertaken, not completed, mind you. It's the middle of March. You've attempted 2 cases a week on average. Is that like 2 cases a week a good caseload, Lieutenant? Huh? He raises his nose from his notes. 2 complex cases to undertake is a lot. Yes, you really have to push yourself. I would not suggest it, lest you start making mistakes. Yeah, 2 cases a week appears to have been my load, Lieutenant. I'm not sure I completed them, though. That's a lot. This kind of caseload would explain your solved cases tally on the watermark. He stops. I didn't mean to say you're making mistakes, by the way. It was presumptuous of me. I'm sure I made plenty of mistakes. Look at me. That's okay, he nods, then turns back to his own case files. We all make mistakes. Like a fan of gills, the checkered papers dry in your hand. The handwriting is extremely dense, if mostly illegible. There was mention of a naming convention here. Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on the margins, yet still more tellingly, most are accomplished by a name, or accompanied by a name. Oh, a title, one might say even. One that draws inspiration from Snoop Fiction and Vespertine cop show staples. Oh man, written in capital letters too. Yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural. Another, The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Another yet, The Unsolvable Case, very original. There's more. Others appear more lighthearted. The guy's on a couch in an unexpected location, and the murder at the hookah parlor. Even the rare article, Free Collapsing Tenement. Murder features prominently throughout. going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done later once you've done inspecting them up close. Hey, Kim, my cases appear to employ some kind of like naming convention. Oh, you mean alphanumeric, officer, precinct, time of arrival at the scene? No, I mean like non-numeric ones, like with titles and cool shit. Oh, you mean titular? Yes, well, so do I in our defense. Almost everyone in the RCM does. Why's that? It's a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution when the organization had little idea how to do things. It persists in an unofficial capacity. Officers use these titles to refer to their work among themselves. Look, I got a case in here called the Square Bullet Hole Murders. Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one. He peeks through his notes. The man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still, I named it that to amuse myself. He smiles. I prayed his loved ones never find out. What happened to him? Rail spike through the head. He died. It was a workplace accident. Well, I have to open an official case. Is there room? There is for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms the structure of passages, breaking the case into subtasks to accomplish. Once all the tasks are accomplished, the case is complete. All right, well, we're going to commit this to paper. I got that pen. The tasks you've completed flow out of the kind green 8 pen in a brash freehand similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily. It's almost robotically simple, a language developed for mental rigor and simplicity. Inspect victim's body. Get the body down. Interview the cafeteria manager. It's not exactly poetry, but poetry would be out of place. Let's cross out the ones that we've already finished. Satisfying slash sounds across the paper. You're done, seems to say, and you. Things to be done and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of the Citizens Militia. Now all that remains is to name the case. Hey, Lieutenant, have you by chance named our case? No, actually. Any ideas? Ooh, good one. Okay. The Hanged Man. It's very obvious, very literal. I like that. I'm a fan. Nobody's going to be confused on what we're talking about. The Furies are at home in the mirror. Now, this was from the opening quote. The game opens. It's not even voiced. It just says something about the Furies are at home in the mirror, but even clear waters can drown you or something. I don't understand it. The setting sun, I don't get the relevance. And shit on a stick means, I don't know. It's possible. It's possible. I think... Kim, you know what? Let's call it. Let's do it simple here, and let's just call it the Hangman. Everyone's going to be on the same page. Oh, great! That's great. That's actually what I was thinking too. The Hanged Man. Good, strong name. We have a very good name for the case now. See? Good. Kim liked that. He flips the pages of his notebook. I'm going to start calling it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out. I'm done inspecting these. You don't exactly close them so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further up your nose now. Well, now that we've explained the system, can I read the case files now? No, we suck. It's impossible. Yes. It's possible, yes. Easy? No. You need to come up with a small archaeological system to reorder the remains of your past works. At the moment, all they do is fall apart in your hands. Some dates, and the numeric titular system is all you have. All right. So we can try this again if we get logic or something else happens. Let's browse the yellow papers now. In the back, you see thin, translucent copier paper, some neon yellow, some bright red, all covered in boxes like marching armies. These look like official forms waiting to be filled out. Then rip them from the binder and hand them out, according to the type of form. What type of forms are there? 3. The topmost are misconduct fines. The middle ones are station calls. And the bottommost are field autopsy forms. Each is easy enough to make sense of. You don't have to be an intellectual giant to do police work. All right, misconduct fines. A monetary penalization ranging from 20 to 250 real. Severe cases allow for 1,000 real, but that requires special paperwork. The details of issuing these fines are spread out over the course of the fields. I wonder if this means we could, fine people for stuff to make money. But they appear pleasantly vague. Station call. These are quite sinister in tone. They give a date and time for the person to appear at a specified precinct police station below the call or criminal charges you risk by not appearing. So kind of like a summons. Field autopsy. A dozen pages of thin copy paper, bright red in color. You see the parameters of a deceased human form waiting to be filled in. Age, sex, condition of internal organs. So autopsies. Got it. Yes, all that remains now is to fill these forms and hand them to people. Fines for wrongdoers, interview requests for bad guys, field autopsies to dead guys. Huh. Oh, what delicious power hid within this pathetic mess. You feel better. The rest of this stinking cellulose is much worse for wear, being sandwiched between the board and the rest of the paperwork. Must have spread the fragile copier paper. All right. One last thing to do is smell this bad boy. The acidic stench of rotting food is rubbed off in the cellulose. It now forms the base of the experience. This base surrounded by a faint air of spoiled meat, the stuff of death itself, and then zinc sprinkled liberally with the citrus of zest of toilet cleaner. Okay. If we browse the case files again, we see arson, petty theft, spousal abuse, handwritten logs, and dozens of investigations. Case files to January 51st. 51, sorry. Stamped case files commit to paper. These are your last couple of months in Revachol, Precinct 41, Jamrock Quarter. Cool. All right. So, since Kim explained this, we do get that bonus, but we'll wait till that unlocks again. We got our case named. Let's see. Okay, so never mind. It isn't quite the map thing that we were hoping, which is too bad. I wish there was a way to sort these. That would be kind of cool. See, we got another one in Good Cop, Bad Cop now. Neat. We have a breakthrough imminent. Lonesome Long Way Home. Oh, man. I love this. I would love to get some of these made into, like, posters of some kind. Here we go. Home awaits. Walk past Station 41 and through the market, past the Boogie Street spearhead to the other side of the lake. The Frozen Eye at the center of the district. Then past the video rental store on the corner. There at the end of a street lined with pine trees, a small house no larger than a matchbox. 11 Voyager Road. So that's got to be our home address. You no longer live there. Those times are gone, and so are those people. Why'd you come here? Why are you still here? And where's the dealer? You have to get back to work. That's all you know now. Now, what is this? Learning cap for perception raised to 5, and speed gives 1 psi? Speed gives 1 psi. Is speed like the drug? And perception... Let's see. Oh, I see. Okay, that must be it. So if we go here, speed gives +1 psi. That has to be psyche, like just shorthand. And so if we take speed, then it boosts everything in here. I'm assuming that it's a drug. Learning cap for perception raised to 5. Again, it's already super low for us. Okay. Well, these are interesting. These are very, very cool. And I truly think that unlocking more of these is helping us kind of understand more about ourselves too, which is part of the entire story that I'm really focused on. I think that'll be cool to uncover. So the next skill point we get, we're going to go and unlock one of these, and then we can learn more about the bow collector or white morning and go from there. All right, so what do we want to tackle next? We can ask if they know how the victim's clothes got in the trash, because I would say if anybody knows, it's going to be Gartier, because these guys have the key to it. So we can talk to him. Then I think what we'll end up doing is go to the harbor to ask for this guy's help. Go to the harbor gates and ask the Jolly Mesk about the armor, so that'll also help us get information on the gun. There's something about a pawn shop. Pay for damages, eventually maybe. Figure out who made the call, just keep searching. Find booze and drink it. And sing karaoke. So I think we have an idea of what we want to tackle next, and we will do it. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Only warm primordial blackness. Your conscious ferments in it. no larger than a single grain of malt. You don't have to do anything anymore. Ever. Never, ever.